Alright, you've probably seen me bring this to class before. Maybe you're wondering what the heck it is. Alright? So, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a longboard. And maybe give you a little bit of knowledge about it, what it is. Alright, I'm going to tell you what the longboard is and exactly a little bit of the popularity of growing. I'm going to give you the different types of varieties of boards and techniques for riding. Alright? So let's start out with what is a longboard. And a longboard basically is a concrete surfboard. This is what it's intended to do, and it's to ride and carve along on the ground. This is what they made it for back in the 50s and 60s. They made it to surf the ground. Alright, and opposed to like a skateboard, which is mainly for tricks. And it differs from a skateboard also in the length. Skateboards are smaller, 33 inches and below, and a longboard is about 35 to 6'9", whatever feet you can make a longboard. Alright, so, and also another thing you can tell about what a longboard is by the wheels. It'll have bigger wheels than a skateboard. So if you're looking at someone, you can definitely tell by the bigger wheels, pushes rocks out of the way. Its main purpose is to cruise, get from A to B. And that's what, in the 50s and 60s, that's what these guys created it to do. There's no one person that created a longboard. It was like the pioneers. They came out and they wanted to surf on concrete. So this is what they made. They made longboards. And it's been grown, it's huge now, basically in college campuses. Like, people try to get classes, get from A to B, they buy these and cruise around. I had statistics told me, but I couldn't find them. But working for C-Style, which is the company that I built these boards with, we sold them in shops, and the more popular places they were sold were on college campuses, by far. They just, so that's where it's popular, and a lot of people are doing that now. And now that we've talked about what a longboard is and kind of where it's used, let's talk about the different types. And I broke it down into 3 different types. There's probably a billion, but I broke it down into cruisers, bombers, and sliders. Alright, the types of boards, cruisers are the ones that everybody uses. They range in variety, big, small. This is considered a longboard because it's meant for cruising. That's typically what they are. And they're flexible, they absorb the shock, you have big, soft wheels, push rocks and whatever out of the way, give you a good feel. And you just cruise along, surf. And then we have bombers. And bombers, you can use cruisers for bombers, but bombers typically have their own types of boards. Like this one, you can see the trucks are all the way out as far as they can go, and that provides stability for bombing. And then there's 3 different types of bombers that I'm going to go over. And there's the lower speed board, which is a drop deck, which the trucks are up here, and the deck is actually close to the ground. So you don't want that for cruising, because if you go over a speed bump, you'll bottom out and tumble. You don't want that. So it provides more stability while riding. And a drop through is where the trucks actually come up through the board, and that provides the same responsiveness as a longboard, but yet it's lower to the ground and provides more stability. And then there's the wedge nose. This one's lame, but it comes up in the front, and it provides more traction on the front, while the back you can drift around corners. And yeah. So that's the bombers. And then we have sliders. And sliders, this is what I do, but they're just like a typical skateboard kind of. They're about the same size, but they have really, really hard wheels for sliding, like distance and tricks and stuff. We'll get into that in a second. Alright, now we know the types of boards being used. Let's learn some techniques and how to ride them. Alright. That's what we need to do, this is the whole point. And I set it into 3 main styles. Alright, we have cruising, we have hill bombing, and tricks. And as you can see, they basically go into the style of boards too. So for cruising, this is to get from A to B. The foot push that you see everybody doing around everywhere they go. You use your foot to push yourself, and you go, and it's generally on flat land, and you just carve around, get from A to B. Alright, this is the college campus, campus cruiser. That's what some people call it. Alright, and to stop, I'll go over some stopping stuff. Stopping on cruisers, you can put a foot down by putting your weight on the board. Put a foot down and drag it. You can carve it out until you get to a place that you'll stop, or you can jump off and hopefully you don't get hurt. And then hill bombing, this is another type. We go into hill bombing. This is probably one of the easiest because you just start from point A to point B and you don't have to do any motion, you just bomb. But then again, it's just one of the scariest because you get hauling. But for bombing, oh wait, sorry. All right, you start at the top of the hill. You put on your gear. We want to typically wear like a helmet, probably leathers if you're going, because this is what the racers do. They haul. And the super fast speeds, like one of the fast speeds that was on Wiki Answers that I got, was Kevin Reimer. He's a gravity rider. I actually met this guy, but he went 76.7 miles per hour. And that's on a hill going down. And I've heard that someone went 92 miles per hour, but he's being pulled behind a bullet bike, so we call him a cheater. So 76 miles per hour, that's going pretty fast. I've been in like 50s, so it's pretty fast. And to stop while doing that, you can either ride out the hill to flat to stop and do whatever the stopping is. You can fall, that hurts. And you can slide, which is you have gloves with plastic on them, and you put yourself perpendicular to the ground and you slide out, and that causes you to stop. All right, now the last one I put is tricks, because there's probably about 10 different subcategories. All right, tricks. Sliding, this is what I did. It's basically bombing, but you have a shorter board for mobility. You have really, really hard wheels and your gloves, and you do tricks while on the ground, like spinning and sliding. And then you have dancing, which is part of cruising, which while you're just like cruising around, you can like jump off your board, you can kick your board and flip it, and just like some dance tricks, like crossover steps, all that good jazz. You can do that. All right, and so now basically that sums up everything. And I've gone over what a longboard is, the different types, and how to ride it, and the styles. All right, and hopefully you've all gained a better knowledge, and next time I come in and I bring this in, you'll know what it is. It won't scare me.